Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Challenge Accepted. And this week, as every week this month, we're doing International Scrapbooking Day lifts from Scrap Squad. And this was their lift number 2, and it's the one we've chosen for our second week here in the month of May. And I don't know about you, but if you're like me, every once in a while, you look at a layout and you say, wow, that's cute, that's gorgeous, that's wonderful, I can do that. And then you set about it and you have no idea what you're going to do or how you're going to do it. I could have, as I think is the case in this original, cut these letters in both capitals and lowercase out of, and in different sizes out of different papers in with my silhouette. But I decided to look back at some of my older stash, and before I discovered thickers, or maybe even before thickers discovered thickers, I used to use just paper alphas that you kind of punched out of a piece of paper. And I have some really large ones of those. And I could have done this page with maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or so of those. But I then remembered that I had this little set. I have no idea who made it. This isn't its original packaging. I put it in this packaging because they're kind of falling apart. But they're little stacks of tablets of letters, and there will be 4 or 5 of one color, and then it'll start, or one pattern and color, and then it'll start another. And you can tear off one, or you could tear off the whole stack, and you could have them as thick as you wanted. So off camera, I actually pulled one of each letter of the alphabet, and I have them here in my little magic bowl. And they're all pretty much the same size. There are no uppercase ones here, but the variety of colors is enough to make me happy. And I cut them, I tore them various thicknesses, and where they were kind of coming apart because these are old, I kind of glued them together. So I'll draw from this. Whereas in the original, they kind of did the alphabet in order, A, B, C, D, F, G, on down to Z. I will not necessarily do that. I'll pick a letter and I'll arrange them by color, and I will kind of tuck them under my photo and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that this one ends up being a fairly quick one because I spent all my time fretting about what it was I was going to do. And to go with those letters, there are these 3 colors. There's an orange in there, there's a pink in there, and there's a lime green. So I cut these 3 butterflies, and other than those letters and this title, which is a Bramble Fox perspective that says blessed, I don't think I'm going to have any other embellishments. Underneath, on the original, they've done some stenciling. They've got a dark background with some white texture paste stenciling kind of back behind the letters. You can see it peeking out here and there. I have chosen this white paper that has little diamond-shaped, multicolored diamond shapes, and it has some distress marks on it. It's a wonderful paper. It's called Citrus Bliss by Pink Paisley, and it's from many years back. 2014. So yeah, 6 years back. And this particular paper is called Bloom. And a couple years ago, Tuesday Morning had a package of 25 sheets of this. And the other side is, well, I'll show you the whole thing. The other side is this aqua. It has different, diagonal bands. There's some like seed packages and some like a garden catalog. Very, very faded and faint in there, and it's just beautiful. Really, really pretty. And I use this side a lot, but I also love this side. This side has all the colors in my alphabet letters there, and then some. And even if they don't match perfectly, they are they're so small that it's just not gonna disturb anyone's senses. So instead of the white stenciling on the black, I'm gonna do a quick. First of all, I'll show you my photos that I'm using. This is a 4x6. I've got two 3x4s printed on here from the Mother's Day dinner. This is my annual hug from my son, and he took a picture of the rest of us who were gathered there. You'll notice that Ava is absent. She was with her mom on Mom's Day, but my day started off with a text from her, and James, around the same time, James brought in a cake that he had made for me, and that cake will be on a different page, but and she and I were in the text kind of laughing and talking back and forth about his having made me a cake. And it says in my journaling here, it says her comment was, "That's a whole lot of icing." And it's kind of cool, I think, in the middle of the pandemic that we could get together. I feel very fortunate that we already lived in the same house. And I talked to friends of mine who can visit their grandchildren, across the lawn, and no hugging and so forth. And fortunately, we're not there. So you got to make something good out of it. The load prompt for today was based on the song Hey Jude, and it talks about taking a sad song and making it better, and the prompt was to scrap about hope. So I talk about hope springs eternal when in the midst of a global pandemic we can get together to celebrate Mother's Day. So I kind of took the prompt in that direction. So seeing this, I can see that I probably want to maybe leave a 1 or 1.5 inch border around and kind of do my stenciling. I'm using a Paige Evans star stencil, and since this is pink paisley paper, I think that makes sense, right? And Distress Oxide and Twisted Citron, which, as you know, is one of my favorite colors. So I'm just gonna kind of work it through this way, realizing that this color and this particular stencil are not gonna make a huge difference in the overall design, but it'll add just little hints of color here and there. I'm going to kind of turn it like this and go here. And a lot of this will be covered up by the alphas, but it's a way of doing some mixed media that without getting the page wet. So that was kind of important, since I was hoping to do a fairly quick one. And I'm pressing with various degrees of pressure, leaving various amounts of color, and in some of them I've kind of pressed, and this, I like how that's looking. And like I said, just a little bit of it will be peeking out from the alphabet once I get all that in there. Okay, let me do some little bit over here. Okay, that's good for me. And now I'm going to put that aside. I've already got foam on the back of my photo. I have a piece of foam to put on the journaling. I think I'm going to do it this way. I'll put this maybe straight up and down, and then I'll put the journaling off to the side, and probably off to the side and up. Okay, that's decided. And my journaling, I actually printed it on some, a scrap of, I think this is Paige Evans, Bloom Street. Let's see, do that like that. And we'll see how this works. If I put it over there, I may want some of this gone. Do that. Do this. Okay. Now I'm just gonna start, well, okay. I do know that I want the, this is a first for me, putting the title on first. I want the title running along here. It's the letters come down, that doesn't cover up too much of the photo, and the perspective is white, and the background is white, so I need a background that it'll show up on, and that doesn't hide his smile or mine, and that's kind of the whole story there. I'll do the butterflies. One of the other parts of the load prompt was to use wings, and so butterfly wings should work, right? I just don't have any angel wings in my stash. Now I'm going to put the butterflies on here and then work the letters around them, because the butterflies are, to the design, a little more important than the letters. The letters really just add color and nothing much to the story. In this, of a 1-year-old, the ABCs are coming soon, so I can see that matters. Okay, up near the green, butterfly, I'm going to use a hot pink O, and that'll be my first letter. And I'm going to use I don't want to have a green, because although there is a lime green, it isn't exactly the same color, so I really don't necessarily want that fact to stand out. So I'm going to tuck this, and I'll have to be careful since I'm randomly placing letters on here. I'll have to be careful that I'm not spelling any inappropriate words. Okay. I'll just kind of do that. And we'll go with an N that I may tuck. This may end up being harder than I think. I might, see, I'm gonna unstick this. I'm gonna stick the letter first, and then I'll overlay the butterfly. And I'm going with liquid adhesive here. because I just think I may need it for these to stick better. Okay, there. And then let me do a green S down here. And I'm not gonna cover the whole letter with it, but I'll put that there. And an M, this one's pretty flat. And yet it can still overlap that, so that works out well. And then I'm gonna use a K up at the top. I'll go here, kind of raise that up a bit, and it's lifting, so I'm gonna add a little glue between the layers there. Okay, and let's see, I've got this J. That I think would work right there. And now I love this lime green with the yellow stars in it, and since I have the lime green stars in the background, I think that will work nicely there and kind of overlap the white frame there, which is elevated on foam, so it kind of folds it down, which may not be the best idea. Because of that, let me move this back down. Oops, I think the adhesive has stuck to the photo paper. Let me do this. I usually don't do this much faffing about, but I kind of love this look, so I don't want to lose that effect. There, and I may do this Y down here, and this is flat. Put it there. Let's go with an X. I've already used this orange dot in this L up here, so I'm going to use it maybe right here, overlapping that M and underlapping the journaling. Okay, time to use a bright hot pink, I think. And this one I'll take out a little bit from the journaling block. Let's see, this is an R. I may want this R overlapping that K, just there. Okay, let's see what we have here. This is an E, and it has, every once in a while in those stacks, there's a peel-off backing, and the letter is sticky. It's not in every stack. I've actually gone through all the stacks to see if I'd missed those in the, many years that I've had these. This is another, I'll go, actually, I'm going to take that away, and I'm going to go here and overlap the journaling block with that. That's a better color. This is a B, so let me just kind of, I'm not using any foam dots on these because I've varied the thickness of the layers of letters, and I'm hoping that's enough to give it some dimension. So I'm going to kind of go like that. Let's see. We could do this. That works. Now I'm going to kind of build up layers. There are, in the original there are layers over here, but I may not do that. There's a W here. That's my son's last name initial. Let me put it there. Z. No particular place that needs to be, so it can kind of protrude out here. Now I'm going to start kind of building it like that. T. It's time for a hot pink one down here, I think. So that's about as close to the edge of the paper as I want to get. Gonna go up here with a B. And I've got a purple V. I like the purple plaid ones, and I think those were some of the earlier ones I used the most often. These, I've used that tablet many, many times, used these letters. And I generally, because I hadn't learned to appreciate the beauty of dimension in my pages, and because I was working on I have a P already, I think. So this may really be a D. I have two B's. One of those, there's a P right there. I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter if I repeat letters. There are no alpha police that are gonna call me on it, I think. I like this green down here, even though it's kind of close by there. This is an aqua that isn't a pattern that's used often. Some of the patterns are repeated a lot. I guess it just depends on how far you've gone down into the tablet. Maybe let's do this. This B looks a little crooked. Let me straighten that up and get the V properly placed. I think the tops of the V are not parallel with the top of the paper. So let me kind of straighten that out. Okay, and here's another one of those things. I'm going to put it in here as a D because I think we don't have a D. And I can slide it in under there. And I've got a little purple R that can kind of go somewhere. Maybe up in, it's close to that purple, but it's not the same. It's kind of close to that. Let me use it here. Okay, and I'm almost done, guys. So sorry that the faffing about and placement of these letters took as much time as it did. I thought that would go more quickly. Okay, so here's the original, and here's mine. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate all of your support. And if you'd like to see more, you can always like and subscribe and press the little bell to be reminded when I put more content out here. And a belated Happy Mother's Day to all of you anybody who's changed a diaper or sat through teething, pain, and waited up late for a teenager to come home. So anyone who's done that deserves a Happy Mother's Day. So thank you. See you next week. Get out there and accept some challenges and enjoy something artsy and fun today. Let me see if I can do